Welcome back to our second matchup of the night. We're about to get this one started. Before we get into it, I just want to introduce my good friend and co-caster here today. I am joined by Squirrel. How's your day going, Squirrel?
My day is fantastic. Just got to watch a nice first game of Rocket League where we got to see an easy sweep. But this second game of Rocket League between the Ember and Melons should be a great one. So I'm excited. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, it should be a great one, but you do have a little bit of stakes here, so I guess you should be hoping for a sweep as an AGM. We do have Ember taking on the Melons, which, if I'm not mistaken, you are the AGM for Fruit Ninjas, aren't you?
Yes, that's it's a fairly new development, and I'm not used to it yet. But I am in fact the Melons AGM. So and my GM is playing for them. So I am kind of biased here.
Just a little bit, but that's okay. We're all a little biased sometimes. Um, and yeah, so the Ember looking had a little bit of a rough start to the season. They've managed to turn things around a little bit. The record is still sitting at a 3-8, but they've had a couple wins. And the Melons kind of the opposite side of the story. I know they started out the season really strong. I think they went 8-0, but they have had a couple of losses. So I'm not really sure what to make of the current trends. This one could be a lot closer, I think, than a lot of people might expect.
Yeah, momentum is a huge thing, and the Melons are coming off of 3 sweeps. Not them sweeping. They got swept 3 times in a row. So I think if Ember wants to do it, now's a great time to do so because they are looking a little slumped. Also, Polished Sign isn't here for the Melons right now. They are subbing in Chixa, which is great to see because there's not a whole lot of female representation in Rocket League. So anytime we get to see a female play, it's always going to be exciting.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. And if I'm not mistaken, is Smooth? I don't see him in the lobby. Is he not playing to get today either?
Ooh, that's a very good point. I don't see him either, and if they don't have Smooth, then I don't think the Melons win this one.
Oh man, putting a lot of stock. Smooth, known to be a little bit of that carry playstyle. If well, you just said that you think they might not have it if he doesn't show up, but do you think that? I mean, do you think that JD, Chixa, and I'm not sure who else they would sub in. Do you think that JD can carry the weight of his teammates not being here?
I I don't think so, and I hate to say it because I do like JD and I think he's a talented player, but JD is more of a third man role, second to third man role, and he needs a good solid first man. And without if Polished Sign or Smooth doesn't show up, I'm not exactly sure who they're going to bring into this one. So and hopefully one of them joins soon.
All right, somebody clip it. The AGM of Fruit Ninjas just said the GM was really bad and they had no chance of winning. You heard it here first. It didn't come from my mouth, guys. Don't worry. But
I wouldn't say anything JD wouldn't say about himself.
fair enough. I know even last season he would always say that his teammates were the ones who carried. But moving on to Ember's roster, I honestly I know a little bit about Sire. Other than that, I don't really know much about the other players. Actually, I'm not even sure if Sire is playing. Are there any players that you're going to be looking at to step up for Ember today?
Absolutely. My eyes are stuck on what are you doing, Step Bro? With a name like that, you better be coming to pop off. So hopefully we'll see something out of Step Bro. Uh, I've heard the name Sire Blizzy before. Haven't really got to catch many of their games, but if the rumors that I've heard are true, then there's a good chance that Ember takes this one.
Yeah, and they definitely might be a little bit slept on with their record. A lot of people kind of underrating them. I think they're a little bit lower in power rankings, but like you said, this is their chance to kind of take the opportunity to attack the Melons while they're in a little bit of a slump, it would seem. And if they can take advantage, come out swinging, then they might have a chance. So, moving into that, we did just get information about the players for the Melons. And with that, moving forward, do you stand by your prediction that you think Ember will win, or do you think Melons got this and are going to turn it around?
Well, with the addition of Rogue, anything is possible. Rogue is, in my opinion, one of the quicker guys in the novice league, so there's a good chance that they'll make something happen here. But playing with a new roster for the first time can be rough. So I think Ember with the more established roster, I think they might take this one 3-2.
All right, Ember in 5. You heard it here first. And well, it might not be their first time playing together because actually, when I was in the worst part of my slump recently, I ran into JD Rogue and one other Fruit Ninja member in ranked. So they do have at least a little bit of playtime. We'll have to see if they can draw from that as we get into the first game here. Got What Are You Doing, Step Bro going off, and he's gonna get a nice kickoff to the back corner. Rogue with an early miss. And this game, at the start, oh my goodness, already an open net miss from Ember. Maybe a little bit of nerves early, but I was going to say Rogue's going to be needing to kind of step up here, maybe having to play at a bit faster pace than he's used to. And a lot of this series could be dependent on how well he does a job of keeping up with the speed, as there is a pretty large differential from novice to prospect.
Yeah, anytime you sub up, that player is definitely always going to be an X factor. How well you do depends on how well they can keep up. And right now, like Rogue can keep up with the pace. We'll just see if his mechanics are on par with the rest of these players.
Yeah, that can be another issue. And right there, his mechanics were looking good as he got a solid read from the backboard to keep the ball out of danger for the Melons. So far, looking comfortable in this lobby. Sometimes that's how it is at first, but after a little bit, the pressure can start to crack as he did go up for that aerial, but a huge clear from Revenge. And the Ember is going to take control as just another near miss on the open net. Just goes off the post. And something to note as well, I know you were talking about Sire, but I don't even think he's going to be playing in this one. I'm fairly certain he is a starting player on their roster, so I wonder if this is... I think they might have subbed in Stepbro here.
Yeah, based off the MMR, it seems that way. So both teams maybe are probably not playing with their best starting three, but so far it's been pretty back and forth and pretty well matched as neither team just completely dominating right now.
Not quite, but that can all change in an instant. We're seeing some good demos coming out here. I really like to see that, especially in the lower levels of play, where rotations aren't really as consistent as some of the higher levels. One demo can do a lot to completely disrupt the flow of the other team and can be big to make opportunities. As here's a chance for a shot. Rogue hits it off the post, and that's another near miss. Melon's just barely missing. Both teams lacking a bit of accuracy right now, though. As JD hits another one off the backboard. Blizzy gets a nice touch out to the midfield, but it'll only go as far as Chixa. Sends it center. Rogue with the pass down to Chixa. That's actually a really good pass. The shot is just barely lacking accuracy once again. But I love the ideas coming out from the Melons, as even with not even their starting roster, two key players gone, they're looking for these opportunities. And even if they're not capitalizing yet, it seems like it's the start of something promising for them.
Yeah, whenever you can put pressure on a team, eventually you're going to find a hole in that defense and put one in. But you mentioned accuracy, and both teams really struggling with that right now. I think in the opening 30 seconds, Blizzy had an open net that he just couldn't quite get the ball. So we'll see if that accuracy improves throughout the series.
For both teams' sakes, you hope it does, as there's only 2 shots for Ember and 3 shots for the Melons right now. But you feel like that should be more if some of these balls hadn't gone off the post or missed entirely. Now, Melon's going to get a chance to capitalize. JD hits a high shot over the backboard. It's going to be a tough read. And Ember will deal with it. That's a good catch by JD, though. Stepbro barely getting a piece of that one. Still, they're in a bit of a predicament, though, as finally the ball gets cleared for them. Now that's a center ball. Revenge with the shot. Once again, it goes off the post. Stepbro launches it over the crossbar, and that was just hanging in the midfield, but I think Chance is going to get back to this one in time, and he just barely does. She barely does, as she gets another clear down the field, and the Melons escape danger, at least for now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming out from Ember there. They doubled their shots within like 30 seconds. But with 4 shots and Melons only making 2 saves, that means half their shots aren't on target. And that's been the story today is Blizzy passes a great ball to Revenge and or sorry, the other way around. No, Blizzy to Revenge and Revenge there to clean it up. Great performance there with under a minute left.
That was a really solid play from Ember. Hopefully, we'll get their confidence up a little bit. One of the first real opportunities that they've actually put on net. And that backboard is always going to be a weakness. And now maybe they've found their momentum as they're going to put a second one in.
Yeah, momentum is a huge thing of Rocket League, and it can definitely snowball as "What are you doing, Step Bro?" puts it in the back post.
And what are you doing, Step Bro? Fighting back against, I guess we'll assume that Melons are the Step Bro. As Blizzy looking for a huge read. Oh my goodness. He almost actually got that one on target, but now it's going to put them in an awkward position. They only have to hold on for 20 seconds longer, though. Surely they can hold this one out as Shiksa doesn't get the best touch into the midfield. Takes control, but it's going to have to put this one on target fast. Gets it center. That's an awkward ball for the defender, and Rogue's going to put that one in. 8 seconds left. There's still a chance for the Melons here.
Yeah, Chixa with a good pass to an undefended sidewall, and JD and Rogue double committing, which looked scary, but Rogue thankfully able to get the touch and make this possible for him.
At that point, you kind of just have to send all your resources and hope for the best. Luckily, they had a pretty much a 50% opportunity for one of their players to hit that, and the Melons almost sneak by with another opportunity. But Ember is going to hold on and close out this game one. Definitely a little bit shaky start, but they looked much more convincing towards the end.
Yeah, Melons almost they definitely had an opportunity to bring that one back, and they just couldn't quite get it. Definitely cleaning up their shots could help, but also if Ember cleans up their shooting from the early start of the game, then that one could have been a blowout. So it could go either way, and we might even see something change because Smooth just joined the lobby, so this could get exciting.
This definitely should be a huge factor going from. Although Rogue is a great novice player, I mean, still, I'd rate Smooth as one of the best prospect players, and I assume they're going to be subbing out Rogue for Smooth, which should give them the edge, in my opinion, in this matchup. But maybe Ember can carry their momentum and keep it going. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's definitely not going to be easy for them, though. I think Smooth, I'm not sure what he was doing before, but I think it's going to be huge for the Melons to have him in this one.
Yeah, and whenever you bring a player in mid-series, like Ember just got used to 5 minutes of Chixa, JD, and Rogue, but now you throw Smooth in there, that's going to completely change the pace of this game, and we'll see how well Ember can adjust.
Yeah, Smooth is definitely a much faster player. I'd say he's one of the faster players in all of Prospect. You have to imagine him coming in is going to bring the entire speed of the lobby probably up by a fair margin, and if the Melons can use that to their advantage, they can definitely bring some blows to Ember. It'll just be up to them. Ember maybe can use that speed to their own advantage if they can keep getting shot opportunities like they had in the last one. They just can't afford to be as inaccurate as they were in game one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for the Melons, it's definitely going to be a mental thing. When you've been swept 3 times and you lose the first game of the series, that's definitely in the back of your mind. So we'll see if they can at least take one game off of them to build some momentum. But with if Ember can get their shooting down, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them, and we'll see who can crack first.
Yeah, that pressure has to be mounting. Melons, now, I guess if that's 3 sweeps, that was their 10th game loss in a row. That's a lot to handle mentally. They just have to recognize that they are still one of the top teams in Prospect and pull from their resource of 8 straight series wins that happened before. Already, Blizzy going for a double touch here. Doesn't quite get it. And now it's a double commit, actually. But Smooth's going to take this one to the wall, looking for an air dribble, but doesn't have the boost to really do much with it. Still gets a nice 50. That one's going to be hit out. And already the speed of this lobby is looking quite a bit faster.
Yeah,
Things
Smooth
are...
definitely brings a different pace and some improved mechanics from Rogue. So definitely should be a closer game with a little bit better shooting.
And we did see a little bit of awkwardness there from the Melons as they were in a dangerous spot on defense. But now Chixa with a big dunk. Just not the boost to follow. But Smooth will be there to back her up. And he's going to be looking to take this one to the ceiling, surely. Tries to get the pass middle, but can't quite. Step Bro with a huge play there in the corner. Now it's looking like it's all the Melons, though, and this is an open net. Chix is not going to miss that one. Not sure what happened to the defense for Ember there, but they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Chixa beats one in her own half, and no one else was to be seen as she hits the open net. And 100% shooting right now is definitely an improvement from last game.
Yeah, considering the inaccuracy we saw at the start of last game, I mean, that was perhaps a little bit easier of an open net than some that we had, but still good for the confidence and good for the Melons as they're going to take their first lead in the series. Can they hold on to it, though? Step Bro with an opportunity. Ball gets knocked away. And now Ember's going to have to hustle back. That's a huge demo from Smooth. Once again, just looking to mess up these rotations. And now it's the Melons. Chixa not wanting to take control of this one, actually. That's going to give Revenge a chance to cut in. JD's there to bail out his teammate. And he will get the ball around. Melons back on offense once more. Smooth's looking for the dunk. Can't quite get it, but still the ball is in the corner. Revenge doesn't have boost. Chix going to miss that one just barely. The ball is not leaving this corner anytime soon, it would seem, as JD puts that one almost on target. Smooth coming in for the cleanup, and no boost on defense. Ember is going to suffer another goal.
Yeah, a great little backflip shot there by JD to put the defense in an awkward spot. Left the net wide open, and Smooth just puts it by the defender that I don't think he could have made it there even if he shot it right at him.
Yeah, at the end of the day, those defenders were not in a fortunate position. And we'll just say that that entire play by JD was calculated, and he definitely wasn't trying to shoot because, of course, it was a fake. Everything in Prospect is calculated. Actually, everything in Rocket League is calculated. No mistakes occur, only accidents. As Step Bro looking for the dunk. Gets one high off the backboard there, but there's no one to follow. Once again, another hit off the post. Ember's inaccuracy coming back to haunt them. As Smooth looking for the dunk here once again. And what Smooth has really brought to the table, other than these mechanics and increasing the speed, which is already a lot in its own, but he's actually starting to control the ball and force 50s that are really helping the Melons to gain favor. They're not going to have much favor here, though, as Blizzy snipes an open net, spotting a point just between the two defenders where he could shoot it.
Yeah, I don't think the defense was quite expecting that ball from JD to pop back into the middle, and they were both on corner boost, and that left the net wide open. And good placement there by Blizzy as he brings this one within one.
And now Ember, if they can find their accuracy, might have a chance. That's a huge pass down to Blizzy, but it's just going to barely hit the crossbar. And that would have been a crazy play. I mean, still, it was a really good opportunity for Ember. They're going to be shaking their head that that one didn't go in, feeling a little bit robbed, but they still have pressure here, still have an opportunity. Can't capitalize once again, though. As now the Melons with a chance to break out of their half. They're looking a little bit uncoordinated. Blizzy gonna send this one center. Chicks are there to clean it up. And here's Step Bro coming out. Gets a 50 to the opposite side. Now it's in the middle for the Melons, actually. Who can't quite be the defender there, but another awkward touch. Now Revenge looking for the shot. Can't quite get on target once again. It's the crossbar. And, man, Ember and the crossbar are just best friends in this series so far, it would seem.
Yeah, definitely definitely not a very big improvement from game one, which if you want to beat this new Melons roster with Smooth, you definitely have to step it up. Smooth definitely doing a good job putting pressure on them and not giving them anything easy.
Yeah, Smooth making this infinitely more difficult as now the time is winding down. Still, Ember's only a goal down. They've been able to handle the majority of these offensive plays. And Blizzy looking for the double touch. Can't find it, though. Now that's another center ball. Chicks are going to play patient off the backboard. Going for another touch. Can't quite get the shot, but they don't need to score anymore right now. They just need to hold on. As a double miss from the attacker and the defender twice, actually. As the ball lingering in the corner of Ember definitely favors the Melons here. Now only 10 seconds. Blizzy trying to make something happen. Can't quite get the dunk. Step Bro with the hit around. But all JD needs to do here is get a clear and hit the ball to the ground. He can't get the 50. Smooth looking to clear this one out. And he hits the ball down. That'll be the end of regulation and the end of the game. Now, we won't see a sweep in this series as the Melons tie the series up.
Yeah, and I definitely think taking game 2 really, in terms of momentum, favors the Melons because now they've got those sweep nerves out of their system. They know that they can beat this team, at least on a game-to-game basis. So we'll see how Ember can respond, especially to the change of pace that Smooth brings.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to up their shooting accuracy, and they're going to have to find some way to deal with this improved offensive Melons pressure. It won't be easy, but there was some life in there. I mean, they had some really good plays, some really good opportunities that they just barely missed out on a couple of goals by a hair at some points. If once again, it's going back to that accuracy. If they can improve that accuracy, then I mean, I really do think that they can win 2 more games in the series and take it.
Yeah, I don't know if you looked at the scoreboard there, but the Ember had 5 shots. Melons had 0 saves, so it was purely decided based off of Ember's shooting percentage in that one.
Man, and that's not something you want to see, even foreboding for the Melons. If they're not getting these saves, then they're just at the mercy of the shooting of Ember, which so far has worked out for them, but I don't think they can continue to bank on that as Blizzy's going to put one in, and the Ember has another lead.
Yeah, Revenge with a hard ball, awkward ball off the back wall, and it bounces great for Blizzy, who is just full steam ahead, and he buries that one in the back of the net.
And that's the kind of confident shooting that you need to see out of Ember if they want to take this series. They might still be a little bit nervous. Oh my god, 2 members up, and the ball goes in the net. Fortunately for Ember, that was a huge double commit, but I guess it paid off as they're going to take a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Stepbro just pops it up, and I guess if you just fly at the ball and look cool while doing it, the defense will not challenge you. That one just drops in.
A little bit of the intimidation tactic. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't, but you know, when it does work, it's well worth the risk. Now Ember going up 2 goals early in this series, or early in this game, excuse me. They still have to hold on, but definitely a better start than they saw in the previous game. Now they're going to have to try to keep the pressure on as another ball gets sent towards the Melons net. Chicks are there to deal with that one. And that's a center ball for the Melons. A bit too fast for JD. He's not going to be able to take this one. Just tries to dribble it to the center, but now it's Blizzy hanging the ball to the backboard. Revenge pre-jumps this one. Can't quite find the backboard read. And Smooth is in the net this time to prevent the goal from the lead, excuse me, from going up to 3 goals. Still, though, Ember looks a lot more fierce in this game than they have in either of the previous 2.
Yeah, the shooting and the pressure, they've definitely stepped it up in terms of speed from game 2. And that's quite impressive. So we'll see if they can keep it up for the next 3 minutes.
Man.
Smooth just sneaks one under the defender. Awkward touch off the backboard by Blizzy, and it goes right to him. And we know Smooth will hit those all day.
And that's actually a really good play from Chixa. I just want to point out there, the defender in Blizzy was in an awkward spot, but I think they still would have managed to get a better touch if they didn't also have to watch out for Chixa coming in for the demo. And then she also got a bump on the last defender to completely clear the net. I would attribute most of that play to her work, and that's a great way to show up for the Melons here, as now they only need 1 more goal. That's definitely a lot more manageable than a 2 or almost 3 goal deficit. Ember looking to bring this one back, though. JD trying to get the ball midfield, but can't find a teammate. And Chixa once again gets the ball past 1. Stepbro there to meet it. And another clear from Ember as the ball gets sent to middle. Revenge up for this one. Can't quite get the shot on target. Almost does, though. The crossbar meets the shot once again. As Blizzy in another awkward spot on defense. And all of a sudden, Ember looking a little bit more vulnerable. The ball is still hanging in the Melons half, though. Smooth gonna clear this one out. And this game looks even faster. It seems like we're seeing a progression of speed from each game. I mean, the first one looked extremely slow for both teams. The second was much faster because of Smooth. And now this third just looks like the teams are trying to race each other to the ball and outpace each other. It might just come down to which team is faster right now.
Yeah.
That one's...
Oh, what a great
Oh,
shot by JD. I was gonna say, the speed is definitely ramped up, and JD with a nice little air roll shot gets it in. What a great shot, and the defense definitely didn't see that one coming.
really good placement from JD there. Just put it barely above the defender. It had just enough speed as well. Oh my goodness. Stepro with an ambitious try there. But now the Melons back in this game. Tied up the score. This could be another opportunity for Ember, though. A little bit of a fortunate or maybe unfortunate pass there. But after a 30-second lead, now Ember looking a lot less fierce than they did in the first 30 seconds. They're gonna have to try to find some of that same energy fast if they want to close this one out. Chixa here with the clear, actually misses the ball just barely. Revenge is gonna keep this one in. That's another awkward touch, but Chixa there for the clear. JD trying to send this one center. Can't quite get it. And now a huge clear from Ember. Can Chixa get there? She can't. The ball bounces awkwardly, though. What are you doing, Stepbro? Can't make it, but Blizzy's going to put this one off the defender into the net.
Yeah, just a really awkward bounce there, and Blizzy with a great shot gets above the ball. JD so close, yet so far away from making that save. Ember, 1 goal lead with just over a minute left to play. We'll see if they can hold it.
And so close, but so far is definitely an accurate description of that save attempt. Definitely not an easy position to be in as a defender. Now a minute left in the game. Melon's going to have to fight back one more time at least to tie up the game here. We know that they can do it, but can Ember hold on this time and secure their own lead? They're on offense once again. Stepper with a miss in the corner, though. A little bit of fakery from JD, and now JD gets a nice 50. Revenge going to have to do something with zero boost here. Can't quite get the ball clear, but Blizzy's fast to the ball. And now tries to read JD's touch, but can't quite get there. Two defenders commit in Stepbro and Blizzy, but it works out. Ember on defense once again, smooth to the backboard. Chixa going for the shot, and she's going to get a nice read to put in another one and tie up the game.
Yeah, that was a great, just full-on team plays. JD bumps one, Smooth passes it off the backboard, and Chixa, with the confidence to go up for that as the third man, or in this case, the third woman, puts a great shot on net.
And the bumps are really what's making the difference here for this Melons roster. That's two plays now basically formed from the bump plays. It's a very useful strategy, and it can win games. It can win series. But here's another attempt from Revenge, trying to put the ball in. Stepbro misses it. Blizzy gets it. Is it on target? It is! And Ember's going to take game number 3.
If you are a Melons fan, you are disappointed in the fact that they just triple committed and not a single one of them touched the ball, and Blizzy, with the open net in front of him, puts in the 0-second goal to put them on match point for the series.
If I was a Melon right now, I'd be a little bit scared because it sounds like Daddy Squirrel's gonna have a little bit of a talking to his boys when he gets back in town. Definitely not happy with that triple commit, and I really can't blame you. They definitely were not out of this game at all. They had to come back multiple times, but that triple commit was just a death sentence for them, and that's really not something you can afford to do, even on 0 seconds when you think you're gonna go into OT.
Yeah, and especially on 0 seconds when the momentum of the next game just rides solely on what happens at the end of that one. So uh, definitely want that one back if you're a Melons fan. Definitely happy with the way you played if you're an Ember fan, though, because, man, they put up a great performance, much better shooting, much better pressure. And if they can keep that up, it might be 3-1.
It just might be. And yeah, that's the kind of accuracy that we really need to see out of Ember if they want to close out this series. I think that was 7 shots and 4 goals, much like miles better than their shooting, I think, from every other game by a fair margin. That is what they're going to need. Now the Melons going to have to fight back from a 1 game deficit, but they have to win 2 in a row now in order to take the series. They just have to focus on one at a time. But Ember now finally finding some momentum against this new roster. Of course, their first win was against a novice sub up in Rogue in the first game. Now they're going to have to try and just close this one out as cleanly as possible. Rogue with the dribble. Excuse me, Revenge with the dribble. Can't quite get it past JD. As Melons are going to get the first crack at an offensive play. That ball's almost centered, but Stepbro gets a nice clear to Blizzy, who's going to put it center. Tries to take the dribble himself once again. Can't quite find anything, though. JD going to take this one. Going for the air dribble. You don't always see JD going for these mechanical plays, but we do know that he is capable of pulling them off occasionally. As the ball ventures back into the Melons half. Blizzy gonna snipe that one off the backboard. Stepbro up, but can't quite make the read. The third man is up for Ember, and that's gonna result in a counter attack. Just a bit of a poor decision for the third man to challenge this one.
Yeah, good awareness by Smooth to know that he just has to beat one defender, and we've mentioned his speed before, and that is definitely not the guy you want to be challenging as third man back.
Most definitely not. And almost another opportunity here. Actually, it is for the Melon. Smooth coming in with the read. Can't quite find it. Revenge going to have an opportunity here. Can't get it past Chixa. A bold challenge, but it works out for the Melons. Now Blizzy gets a touch up to the side. Gets the ball popped into the midfield. This is a tough read for both teams, though. That's a nice shot on target. Smooth barely gets a save, but Blizzy's going to capitalize off of what was an unfortunate touch from him.
Yeah, JD gets absolutely dusted, and it puts Smooth in an awful situation, and no one can quite get there as Smooth forced to take an awful touch, and Blizzy ties this one up.
I will say that was some incredible speed from Revenge, especially for a prospect. You don't always expect them to get to the ball that fast. I'm sure the Melons weren't expecting it. But a great play, and now they're going to be in the lead, actually, as Revenge puts in another one, and he came to play in this game 4.
Yeah, it seems like the Melons just can't keep up with his speed right now. It's Smooth, just a little too slow to get to that save. Revenge takes full advantage of that open near post.
Now Ember finding another lead. I think every time they've taken a lead in a game in the series so far, they have been able to hold it through regulation. We'll have to see if the trend can continue. As Stepbro looking for the shot, gets it past one. Opting to hit the ball to the side corner instead. Now it's Revenge coming in. Gets a hit off the side. It's an awkward read for both the defenders and the attacker. A little bit of a double commit from the Melons. Splizzy's going to dribble this one. Gets it past one. Chicks is awkward, and she can't get the touch out. She's going to get dunked by Revenge.
Yeah, Chixa not going the full length of the back post puts her in an awkward spot, and Revenge, that's an easy read and an easy dunk as he puts them up 2-1, and not looking good for the Melons so far.
An unfortunate play. Now a 2-goal deficit, but we have seen that the Melons can come back from these. Definitely can't count them out yet. It's a huge clear from Chixa. Going past Stepbro, actually. Can she get another touch? Can't quite find it. Now it's Blizzy on the dribble. And that's one thing I've noticed, actually. It looks like in this game the most, and maybe even a little bit last game, Blizzy has noticed that he does have time, even though the game speed has increased. He's noticed that he has time to take these dribbles, and that's something that's really important in Prospect. Oh my goodness, another opportunity. But recognizing that you do actually have time to take the ball under control rather than just sending it away can be huge. And I think that's been one of the key factors in Ember being able to hold off the Melons here.
Yeah, whenever you have a nice 2-goal lead, you want to slow it down any opportunity you can. Just burn as many seconds off that clock as possible and put the pressure on the other team to make something happen, as Melons with plenty of misses here. Too many to come back into this one.
All right. Maybe too many to come back immediately. If they can capitalize quickly, then it is possible. And here's another opportunity for them. The ball's actually just going to roll past Blizzy. Barely gets back in time. And oh my goodness. Awkwardness for the Ember's defense, but still the Melons can't capitalize. Smooth misses the touch from the midfield. That one's just going to pop. Blizzy flies through and he's going to send it into a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, Chixa just completely just jukes JD with that touch, and Blizzy only man down the field with the open net, and he's just been too good this game.
He really has been. Him and Revenge, both with Stepbro as their supporting man, have had an incredible performance in these last parts of the series. I'm going to bring it to you, though, Squirrel. Do you think it's possible? Do the Melons have the mental fortitude to come back from a 3-1 lead with 1 minute left?
Uh, with 1 minute left, I'm not exactly confident in them. If there was a little bit more time, yes. But if I know the Melons, you should see them start to just kind of hold down the boost button and try to play as fast as possible. They don't care if they lose 6-0 or 4-1. They're gonna try to put in as many goals as they can as Blizzy puts this game pretty much out of reach.
Well, lucky for them, it's not possible to take away a goal in Rocket League. That would be an interesting mechanic if they could have their 1 goal revoked. Maybe a referee car on the sideline calling out unfair goals. But it looks like it will be a victory for Ember, and that's got to do wonders for their confidence, actually. I do believe they're still in the playoff race, now moving up to 4-8, and that could be huge for them. I mean, oh my, more goal line mayhem. Getting a win against a team like the Melons, who, even though they have been in a bit of a slump, are still one of the better teams in Prospect. That's got to do wonders, and maybe now they're a little bit more convinced that they can actually compete and make a decent playoff run.
Yeah, they're still pretty highly ranked in the Prospect League, but this is definitely gonna hurt them in the power rankings as Ember on the up and up, and it seems like Melons are kind of on that slide down, especially without their starting roster. It looked pretty rough.
Yeah, definitely rough when you can't get your full team to play, but still a great performance from Ember, and Melons definitely put up a fight. It wasn't an easy conversion by any means, but that will bring, I believe, the Melons record to 8-4 now, and Ember moving up to 4-8, slowly erasing that deficit. And I'm looking forward to seeing both of these teams play again. I think Ember has some great potential here. And obviously the Melons, even though they haven't found their footing in the last couple series, I mean, I still believe in them to come back and show what they're worth.
Yeah, and if you're a Melons fan, you're definitely just happy that you didn't get swept for a fourth consecutive time. But uh, Ember keeps their hopes alive. Melons still towards the top, but they hopefully they don't get into panic mode too much, as they might be looking to try to regroup after 4 consecutive losses. But uh, definitely still a good series. Definitely a lot that can be learned from that, and we'll see how these two teams continue moving forward.
It will definitely be interesting to see how the Prospect League shapes up, as we are now, I believe, almost done with week 6. Only a few more weeks left in the regular season before playoffs. The playoffs race only getting tighter, as now Ember an even stronger contender. Um, but that will conclude our second matchup of the night. Once again, I'm really glad it wasn't a sweep. At least, would never like to have two sweeps back to back. Even a little bit of an upset in this result, as I do believe Ember was the underdog coming in, but still a great series and well played by both Ember and the Melons. Appreciate you guys coming on stream and putting it all on the line. It's never easy. And we will be back, I believe, in just a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10, as we do have one more matchup on the night. And for that matchup, we are going to have Acceleration taking on the Pawns, two very close teams in the Novice League. Once again, fighting for a playoff spot, and both these teams very close to making it. It could be either of them that take home the victory, but I hope to see you guys again there. It was great casting, always great casting with you, Squirrel, and hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'll see you back in the stream. I'll be in chat talking to you guys shortly.